Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. It's Georgie. And today I wanted to look at this vulgar creature here. This is Dan Schneider. I'm sure my American friends will know a lot more about him than I do. I know very, very little. He worked for Nickelodeon and produced a lot of children, sort of young adults, kind of little programs for children and young adults. He has basically been accused by the young girls that he worked with, always the young girls, being very touchy-feely, inappropriate with words and actions towards them, just basically a creep. This guy also had a foot fetish and would try and shoehorn into any scene that he could, scenes of people without shoes on, foot massages. Absolutely peculiar, very odd man. Anyway, basically Nickelodeon, they let him go to the tune of $7 million. I think that was around about 2018, and his contract wasn't renewed. Nickelodeon knew all about this, but he was making money for them, so they stuck with him. While these poor young girls had to put up with him being very inappropriate towards them. I want to do a Celtic cross from his point of view, see what's going on with him, how his mind works, really. What a vile creature this is. But, you know, it helps to know what goes through people's minds, you know, how they function, how they tick. So I'm just going to do a standard Celtic cross on this man, Dan Schneider, and just see from his point of view what his life is like. Does he have any regrets? Surely he must do. Surely he must do. We shall see, shan't we? Let's just get rid of him so we don't have to look at him anymore. Dan Schneider, I'm going to do a Celtic cross on you and just find out what makes your vile mind tick. Okay. Any of you that know more about Dan Schneider, if you could let me know, I would really appreciate it, because, as I say, he's not somebody that I'd ever come across. But the things that I've heard are very unpleasant. Okay. All right, so let's get to the heart of the matter here. Knight of Cups in reverse. Do you know, he is the kind of man, he doesn't care about the feelings of these young people that he was working with. It's all, you know, it's very much, you're going to do the job, you're going to get it done, and it doesn't really matter how you feel. We've got a schedule to work to. You're going to do what I say, and emotions don't come into it. A very unpleasant character in that this is like somebody that, you know, will be understanding of any problem that you had. This one isn't. This is very harsh energy and quite erratic. A Knight of Cups is emotionally unstable. You would never know if you went to work at Nickelodeon on a program with this man. You would never know what you were walking into. He could one day be the absolute life and soul and very, what a great guy, and then the next day he would be absolutely vile, and you never knew. Very turbulent with his emotions and the way he dealt with people. That was him. Just very unpredictable. And the programs that he produced, it was all kind of nostalgia, looking at life through a very rosy, comic, fun lens. You know, these were the kind of feel-good programs, and I think the nostalgia card, the Six of Cups, is very much that kind of card. He was producing content that was that real, for young people, that was a real feel-good thing. Look at all these people down here looking at this kind of scene going on here, all cheering and clapping. You know, it was fun stuff. using people's emotions about things that they'd experienced in their lives. So young people will look at these programs and think, oh, they could relate. They were very relatable programs. But at the heart of the matter, Knight of Wands, yeah, I think that he got off on being the way he was. That sort of gave him his jollies, basically, being around young people, creating this content. It gave him a kind of sexual power, if you like. And at the base of all this, the Knight of Wands, yeah, I don't need to tell you what that is. You know my opinion of wands, you know what they are. So yeah, and everything that I said about foot fetishes and things like that, the power this man had, you know, to be able to put into scenes things that pleased him. Very unpleasant. And then the Queen of Swords in the head. Well, swords are words. Don't be put off that you've got a queen here. You know, rather as opposed to a king. Queen of Swords. At the head of this is like the vile language. This would be emails and things that go out to these young actors, and this is the way he was. The emails that go out and say, you know, you didn't do it right today. This was wrong. That was wrong. Get on set at that time. This is like very, very cutting words. Very, you don't want to cross this sword energy in reverse. Swords are, it's unfair, and it's not just sort of saying to someone, look, you know, you were late on set this morning. It's not that. This is really cutting people off at the knees. A very vile way with words. That's the way he operated. He did it all for his own jollies. He got his own pleasure, shall we say, out of it, and liked to assert himself with his words and cruelness. And again, you know, not emotionally, it comes back to that central one, not emotionally caring. You know, it didn't matter. And that's the way he was. That's the way he was. It was just, we're going to earn the money. We're going to get this show out. We're going to get it out on time. You do it. La-di-da-di-da. Well, you know, if you're going to cry on set, you know, just get off, go away. But when he wanted to, it's like I've said with that central position, he could turn it around. And I think that's even worse because you're always a little bit on the back foot with this character. You never quite know. You know, it's never 100% sure because you've got this Knight of Cups in reverse as well. You've got these two reversals here, and this person can flip again and be lovely, you know, but 90% of the time they're going to be in reverse like this, but they can, when they want, turn on the charm. So that's the way he operated. And now the sort of, this is like near future. So this is where we are now. He's trying to get all things going, but nothing's happening. He is in the Hanged Man. He has sacrificed himself. He's just like, he's looking at things in the reverse. Is he going to learn by it? I don't know. I would think that his nature is such that he has this Knight of Wands about him that he won't learn. He won't learn. If he was in a position where he was responsible for young adult girls, he would do exactly the same, be inappropriate with his hands, be inappropriate with his voice. But he is in the Hanged Man, and I just see this as total limbo. His career finished in, I think it was 2018, and no contract renewed. Okay, he got plenty of money, but this is where he is. No one will work with him. He's been so vilified, and so he should be. So that has really hung him upside down to dry, and he's not moving forward from that. Strength. So at the bottom, I think that he is. He's trying to be strong about the position he's in with this Hanged Man. The way I see this, strength isn't normally pictured like this. It's usually the Virgin and the Lion, and it's very much calm, kind strength. This is aggressive. It's almost as though he's got Nickelodeon, and he's shouting into Nickelodeon, look, you know, I didn't do this, trying to trying to shout that he is not responsible for any of this. I think that he's going to be one of these. He won't learn from this mistake. He is shouting it to assert his strength. No, of course I didn't do that. Of course I wouldn't be inappropriate with young girls. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't be vile with my words. I don't have a foot fetish. I wouldn't do, as though I would do that for my own gratification. You know, so I think this strength thing is him forcing this fact, and that could be seen as Nickelodeon, but I don't think so particularly. I think this is just the press and anyone that will listen. He's shouting into them, you know, into the jaws of the beast, so to speak. No, I didn't do this, and I wouldn't do this, and how could you possibly think that of me? So no lesson learnt from this hangman. And we have the King of Cups, another cup in reverse. He has no emotion about any of this. You know, he's devoid of any kind of compassion for any of those young girls that you know, I mean, you're talking about girls of 12, 13, 14, maybe a little bit older than that, but you know, to inappropriately be rubbing their backs, their necks. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it's a hell of a deal, you know, especially if your contract sort of is 2 years and you've got 2 years worth of this man just being totally inappropriate with you. And he just has no compassion at all, doesn't care at all. As long as he gets, again, the Knight of Wands, as long as he gets his jollies, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And now, you know, it's sort of very much to this hanged man. He had all these programs, all these Nickelodeon programs. I don't know how many there were, but I'm going to say probably about half a dozen that he was working on, all these cups. And it must have been very much, oh, you know, working on this, working on that, all these different things that were earning him a lot of money. I think that, you know, he's probably up for awards and God knows what for his little children's comedies that he did. Always had fingers in pies of different projects, all these 7 cups here, all different choices for him. But look where we are now. No choices. Well, your choices have run out. You're in the hangman, you're not going anywhere, and your choices have run out. So it's at a stop. But in his head, Ace of Wands, he's an ideas man. He's got ideas. He's got things, Ace of Wands. He has a passion to produce more content. So it's all in his mind that he's got it. You know, he's probably working on these ideas for new sitcoms with new girls and, you know, which is worrying. I don't think that Nickelodeon will work with him, but maybe someone will. But let's clarify this. I'm going to go right to the heart of the situation. So this horrible slug of a man, he's got ideas for new projects. He's you know, really thinking about things that could go forward and that could turn all this around. Well, let's just see. What have we got here in the center, the heart of the situation? Let's go in there. Judgment, and let's see what's on the other side just to clarify it. The sun's in reverse. No, fantastic. I'm really pleased to see that he's got these ideas, but he's been judged. You know, the Archangel Gabriel's blown his horn, and you know, and it's been judged. No, although you never went to court, and you bloody well should have done, but although you never went to court, the judgment has been made. You are a vile individual, putting these poor young girls through what you did. The judgment has been made on you. The sun is in reverse. No, you will not be creating any more content for anyone. So, my dears, that is Dan Schneider, not a gentleman I'd ever heard of before. So anything that you can tell me about him, I would love to know. I don't want to look at his face again because he's just so repulsive. And that's the end of him. Doesn't matter how many new ideas he comes up with, how wonderful he thinks this new program will be, or that new program, any pilot he comes up with. The world's made its judgment on him. They don't want to see his content. Sun in reverse. No, it's not going to happen. So Very pleased about that. He never got any courts. He never went to courts. He never had to pay any price, but he's going to have to pay a price long term because his career is over, dead and buried. My friends, thank you so much for that one. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.